Welcome to episode 37 of Real Talk with a Vulnerable Angel and Friends. I am your host, the Vulnerable Angel, Dominica May, and I am joined tonight by my regular guests, Mike and Sharon. Welcome, guys.
Bonjour. I'm going to need that sent to me, please, in Malaysia.
You got it. This was we had these T-shirts made for San Diego Comic-Con, and that was our silent protest against Paramount.
Nice.
Well,
Full disclosure, I still have Paramount Plus. Full disclosure, I watch Paramount Plus every day, but just know, Paramount, I don't like your decision making right now.
Mm-hmm. Still doing what you can for boycotting without just getting rid of your subscription. It's fine. You're going to do what you can. Yeah. So if you are new to the show, if you've never seen it before, what we like to do is we just have vulnerable, deep conversations about various topics that people tend to kind of shy away from, or, especially probably don't really talk about them in public very much. And this week's topic is the good, the bad, and the ugly of rumination. I picked this topic this week because last week I found myself just like, there's been something on my mind that like I don't even want to think about it anymore. It's just like always at the back of my mind anyway. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I feel like I've moved past this thing, but it's still like constantly there. So that is why I've decided to go with this topic this week. Also, if you are new, feel free to join us and chat and ask us questions in the chat section. We do love to have audience participation and interaction with us as well. All right, you guys ready for our first question?
Question.
Our first question. Okay, our questions tonight come from, as usual, ChatGPT. And our first question is, when you catch yourself replaying a conversation or event, what usually triggers it? For me, feeling like I fucked up or said something wrong and trying to figure out how I could have said things better because it didn't end well, or I guess I feel like I might have been judged for, like, just this perception of somebody judging me for how I handled things. And because I put my foot in my mouth a lot, being autistic.
That is foot in mouth disease, but people often don't hear the in, and they just hear foot and mouth disease. And I'm like, that's not what I said.
No. Yeah.
I currently suffer from beef stick in mouth disease. It's a good disease.
Does that also get you replaying conversations or events in your mind? Beef stick in mouth?
No. But I will hearken your sentiments as well, Dominica, in that I mean, I do the same exact thing. Like whenever I say something stupid, which is often, it's just, yeah. That's what gets triggered, and then you just stew, and
I find myself like sometimes trying to figure out, okay, what can I say to the person after the fact to apologize for what I did or what I said, like to make up for the fact that clearly they have been offended by something, but I don't even know specifically what it was.
Pretty much.
It's hard to, I mean, because we're not mind readers, right? And we know, like, you can tell that something happened by a shift in the air.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's like that unspoken, like no one will talk about. So, case in point, and I'm pretty sure that I talked about this on the show many episodes ago, which is weird that we can say that many episodes ago.
37. Now what?
37. It's nuts. Years ago, I lived in Ireland as a Mormon missionary. And when you're a Mormon missionary, you are expected to conduct yourself with a certain demeanor, right? It's referred to as quiet dignity, which is such bullshit. But you're expected to have quiet dignity, and because you're a servant of the Lord, you're a representative of the Lord, and you're not there to have fun. You're there to, spread the word, right? So there was this one, and as a missionary, you keep getting like moved around the country, in different areas, whatever. You don't stay in one spot too long, and I think it's so that you don't develop emotional attachments to the people. Like, you try to keep it fairly professional or whatever, right? So there was this one town that I was assigned to, and the local clergy, I don't know what the fuck I said. And of course, those were in the days that I did not curse. Like, I was a very good little Mormon boy. I didn't curse. But I said something at some point to someone, and I still to this day have no idea what it is. But there was a meeting held with all of the senior clergy of that church, of that congregation, and they had this meeting about me, and the only thing that made it back to me that was said at that meeting was, and I quote, "If Elder Brown," which was my title at the time, "if Elder Brown had said that to my wife, I would have decked him out right then and there."
Holy cow!
But nobody told me what it was. So
that's insane. You should at least, like, if you're going to be ostracized for something, you should be told what it is so that you can know not to do it again.
And
right?
I asked them. I kept asking, like, what did I say? Tell me. Like, apparently I've caused harm to someone at some point for some reason. I need to know what that is, so I know what behavior I need to change, or at least circumvent it, so that, or like, not do it around you. So you
would think in that setting, especially like in a religious setting where it's all about like making sure that you're following a certain set of expectations, that's the perfect time to be telling people what they should be doing better.
But they made a specific point to not tell me, and they said, it doesn't matter, it's in the past, we don't need to.
Well, if it's in the past, then why are we talking about it now? Yeah,
I know. You said, just don't do it again.
What?
Do what again?
What if you do it again because you don't know what it was?
You know what you did. You know what you did.
That's so fucked up.
It was so
That's so stupid.
It was so frustrating. And so, like, talk about rumination and like a triggering event that causes that rumination. That totally happened to me, and I couldn't let it go. But no one would answer any of my questions. So it was just, even like I said, to this day, 22 years later.
You still don't know. You still don't know.
Yeah. So events where where you need an answer and no one will give it to you, that sort of thing will trigger. Yeah. Definitely, I've had those experiences. I kind of want to turn this, my answer also on its head a little bit, because this is the good, the bad, and the ugly as well. So a positive kind of event that causes me to ruminate are along the lines of like wondering, I'll replay a conversation if I've had, like, I'm trying to figure out if somebody was flirting with me or if they're attracted to me. And I'm like, but I don't want to ask them. It's like, did that thing that they say mean that they were into me, or are they just like being friendly? Do you guys have those kinds of experiences too?
Sometimes it really depends for me. Like, there's one that immediately comes to mind was when I was in Hull in the north of England. I was at a house party. I was just talking to this girl very, very randomly. I'd never spoken to her before. We were just chatting. We got along quite well. We said our goodbyes, and she just planted one on me, and I was like, okay. And the rest of the night, I was like, what did I say to get this reaction? Because she wasn't drunk, mind you, and I was just like,
she just kissed
what?
you out of the blue, and you have
Yeah.
no idea why.
I have no idea why. I mean, like, to be fair, we exchanged numbers and everything, but for the rest of that night, I was like, what did I do? And apparently, I spoke to her later on, and she was like, oh, what? You were giving signals. I had no idea. So I was replaying it over and over again.
So she was like interpreting your behavior as giving her signals. See, this is the thing. Like when you're ruminating on something, you think, oh, I think that they're giving me signals, or I think that they're flirting with me, when maybe they're just being friendly. Oh, it's so hard to interpret the difference sometimes. Like it's a very fine line, and that line is different for each person. Like, so some person's flirty might just be somebody's friendly. Mike's friendly is flirty. Like I've been on the receiving end of that.
That it is admittedly, it has gotten me into a lot of trouble over the years.
What? So does a smile from you turn into a French kiss, Mike?
How else do you say hello?
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, we all remember the hand on head story, right?
Oh yeah.
I inadvertently, I thought it was a friend hangout, and I just thought it was just the two of us just hanging out because she was cool. And then halfway through the hangout, I realized, oh no, this is a date. I took her down to the subway for us to like part ways and say goodbye. She leaned in for a kiss. I freaked the fuck out because I didn't know what to do. And I did one of the worst things a human being could do. You would think running away would be the worst thing a human being could do. Not so. I put my hand on her forehead, pushed her away from me, and then realized what I was doing. And so tried to make a joke out of it by saying, hand on head. So much.
Awkward.
If instead of saying that, you went, "You shall not pass," and just walked away.
That would have been nice to think of in the moment, I think.
Yeah.
It brings up a really interesting point that you make, Dominica, that I'd never thought to consider before. We often associate rumination with something negative. We very rarely associate rumination with positive things.
Yes. And that was why I, like, when I proposed the topic to you guys, I think I just said rumination. And then I was like, when I was putting it together today, I'm like, you know what? I want to do the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there are definitely positive sides to rumination as well. I think, like, also another example of me replaying conversations or events that are positive would be just memories that I want to remember, like replaying it in my mind, or like, you know, after it happens, like on the same day or maybe the next day, helps me remember it better so that I can remember it like years down the line. So yeah, positive events, things that I want to remember, will trigger me replaying a conversation so I can make sure that I remember it.
Well, that's another thing. Have either one of you kind of just randomly just burst out into laughter whenever you just out of nowhere are just replaying something that happened years ago? I'll just be watching TV. I'll just be like, just out of nowhere.
I'm pretty sure I have. I can't remember anything specific off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I have done that.
Yeah.
It's the kind of question that I feel like I should say yes to, but I don't think I respond that way. I don't think I do. Maybe, but I don't think I do.
It's one of those things where you have to be like, sometimes something will trigger that memory, and then the reaction that you have just depends on what the feeling that you had in that moment of that memory. And sometimes it's like it's fleeting. It's like you remember the thing and then you have your emotional reaction to it and then it's gone again.
Pretty much.
Next question.
And audience, feel free to drop us any questions or comments in the chat as we're going along as well. All right, our next question is, has rumination ever helped you gain insight, or has it mostly drained you?
For me, it's probably a combination of both, because normally whenever it's something positive, you gain insight. When it's something negative, it does the opposite, doesn't it? So it's very, very tricky, because like looking back on things, let's say on what went well, you can learn, oh, okay, so this worked, this didn't work, okay, this is how I can approach it moving forward. When it comes to negative things, you kind of go back into your mind and kind of dissect every little thing. And I'm very guilty of this. I go through hypothetical situations in my head. Yeah, right. And it'll be like 1,001 different things, but things that I would have no control over, but I would replay them over and over in my head. And by the end of it, I'm exhausted. I'm like, so nothing's changed. But it's just like now I've just got massive fatigue. That's pretty much it. And I feel awful. So, yeah, that's pretty much me. What about you guys?
Yeah, I would say definitely a combination of both. Particularly, like the best example I have would probably be working on my memoir, which required a heck of a lot of rumination. Sometimes like just while I was writing, my memoir experiences and things like that. But then other times like an idea would hit me because I've been thinking about it so much. An idea would hit me or a memory would hit me like just out of the blue, and then I'd be like, oh fuck, that's what they meant in this particular situation. Oh my God. And like just the insight from that. And then it's like not being able to do anything with it afterwards except write about it, because like it was a situation where I'm no longer in contact with the person, and I was like trying to understand what was going on with them and things like that. So it's like, oh fuck, what do I do with this now? Because it's not like I can have a conversation with them about it and tell them that I had this realization or insight from it.
That's where you pull a George Costanza and go to extreme lengths to recreate the situation so that you can bring up your new insight.
I like the way you think. Yeah.
Not me. That's George Costanza, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think it's a recreatable sort of scenario for me.
Oh well.
Talk to Nathan Fielder.
Yeah.
He can make it happen. I don't know. I think for me, like it's been both. I feel like it's both for a lot of people. I mean, I can't help but thinking that I'm doing a lot of ruminating right now because I'm in the midst of building a like a Halloween trick-or-treat walkthrough experience thing.
That's cool.
It's all Harry Potter themed, and so it involves a lot of planning, obviously. And so I just sit and stew and think, and like I'm sure to anyone else walking through the room, they would look at me and just like, "What? Are you okay? Are you a vegetable right now?" You're staring at the wall, and I'm, and it's just I sit and I stew and I think, but that's the kind of thing that gives me insight, but also excitement, because it's something that I'm excited to build, to be part of, to create, right? But then there's other things that we ruminate about of like, and I've told this story before too. There was a guy at Lucky's Bar who I got his, we only had one bottle of gin left.
No.
I know. We only had one bottle of gin left. And I was told by my boss to serve it to like a high priority customer. And it turns out that I got the wrong customer. I gave it to the wrong person. And they were the right customer. To be fair, where my boss told me that they were sitting was not where they were sitting. They were not where I thought they were supposed to be.
No, that's not your fault. Yeah, it's not your fault.
It is and it isn't, because I should have checked the name. Anyway, it's a whole thing, right? It was like in a reserved assigned seating thing, whatever. But I just assumed that this is the right person, so I gave the last bottle of gin. And so the person who was supposed to receive it was just livid. And I'm like, hang on a second. You do know that there's plenty of other choices, right? You know that there's plenty of other things to choose from. And he just took it out on me. Like, he must have been having a bad day, and somebody took something else out on him. So he needed somebody to take his frustrations out on, and he took them out on me. But in the moment, you're not thinking about where is this coming from. You're just thinking about, all right, you listen up, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And you have to, you just have to eat crow, right? You just have to accept it. And it's that kind of thing that you just get so fucking angry. And that rumination, be it good or bad, my rumination turns into not, what's the opposite of self-harm when you do harm to others? Is there, I don't know if there's a term for that, but like, people often go to slashing people's tires. But I take that to a whole new level, and I create these scenarios where I have some special forces friends who I'm going to hire to, like 3 months out from this incident.
You're going to assemble a team.
Yeah, let's wait for them to like get into a good place of like, oh, you're not going to see it coming, and then you abduct them and put them into a van, and then you do surveillance on their family, and of course their family's fine, but you take photos of their family, making them think that these are live photos, and that you do and you Photoshop the photo so it looks like you've done these terrible, horrible things to their family, and you say, listen here, this is all your fault. And then, of course, you have to leave your cell phone at home, because wherever you are going to be, the police are going to trace the signal of your cell phone and say, well, where are you? And, of course, you have to cover your face when riding the subway because of all the street cams. But then you're going to look like, wait a second. Thanks to COVID, we actually have the COVID masks, so you can kind of go undetected a little bit and go to an underground place. Of course, you have to take your smartwatch off because they can track that too. But also, all your special forces friends need to follow the same rules. And if there's any DNA left behind at the crime scene, you have to clean it up with oxygen bleach. You can't do it with normal bleach because DNA still gets left behind. You have to use oxygen bleach. And it just becomes a whole thing.
I am amazed at how elaborate these fantasies are.
And I haven't even gotten into the violence part yet.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely fantasized about like choosing different paths or different outcomes but I don't think I've ever had like revenge fantasies in that way. Like my idea of revenge is like living a better life and being like, fuck you, I don't care about you anymore. Like I don't fantasize about ruining somebody's life like that.
It's more fun. It's more fun. It's that petty side of you. You're just like, but I don't like whenever that happens to me, I always want it to be very petty revenge, like not to a point where the person is really, really hurt or something, but just really dumb stuff. Like, or I hope the person accidentally has diarrhea today, or like just little stuff like that, just to annoy them, and that's me done.
Oh, I'm like, I guess, so that's like unrelated to anything that you've done. You just kind of like, it's more like, I hope karma gets you in some kind of way, right? I think my revenge fantasies in that kind of vein is more like I know that they're such a fuck up that they're going to fuck up their life even more in the future, and I can't wait to hear about that. But like I don't but I don't like do anything to make that happen.
That's a much healthier way to deal with it.
Well, yeah, my ex-husband is a great example of that. He's just like consistently making his life worse and worse. And I don't have to do anything to make that like happen.
See, I'm just waiting for a day when we can be in the same room at the same time and a hammer just happens to show up and you smash the tip of their pinky to pulp so that there's no hope for reconstitution of the bone. And then because you've smashed that part of the pinky, you get an infection in the nail.
Ew.
I like it.
Oh my gosh.
I like it.
And also, pulling teeth, it's a classic without, any sedative. But even more than that, if you pull all of their teeth, they're not going to be able to chew for a very long time.
True.
I think my other like revenge fantasies that I might ruminate on are more along the lines of them realizing how much they fucked up with me and coming back and like to beg for my forgiveness or like that sort of thing. Like that's what I want.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't fantasize about harming other people. It's just not part of my repertoire, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be hardcore harm, but you can just hope that, for me, like things don't go quite their way. And if you want to, just go. Oh, I hope they get really embarrassed, and just like put that energy out there, and just hope for the best, and then you're fine. So if anything else, you're just petty.
Maybe it's because I've watched the Terrifier movies.
Oh God. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with those. I haven't even heard of them.
Oh,
You're
boy.
good. You're good.
You're good.
Great.
You're good.
You don't need to.
All right, we ready for the next question then?
Next question.
Next question. All right, here's the one. So I asked ChatGPT for 6 questions, and I was like, you know what? I need something that is more encapsulates the ugly part of rumination. So this is the question that we came up with for that. Has rumination ever pushed you towards
Every day.
Yeah, self-doubt, resentment, or hopelessness? And how did it impact your relationships or well-being?
I'll take the lead on this. So we all know that I struggle with feelings of inadequacy. My entire childhood, all the cool kids, all the popular kids, even the middle range kids, love to tell me how much of a loser I am. And here's why. And I know it's not true. I know I'm not a loser. But sometimes I feel like one. A lot, actually. And imposter syndrome is strong with this one. That's my Star Wars force power.
Imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome. And I was going through fairly recent, in fact, this last week, I was going through a real particular bout of feeling like a failure and just an idiot. And like, everyone says that they like me, but do they? And I think this is where my relationship with Kim has become a saving grace in my life, in that I have learned that it's good for me to tell her when I'm feeling a certain way, even if I can't identify it. Now, in this particular instance, I could identify it. So I told her, I feel like a loser. I feel like a failure. I feel like nobody likes me. I think like people are just placating me. I don't feel like I'm actually good at anything. And I meant it completely, genuinely, seriously. Which is weird that I just said 3 words consecutively that all have the ly. But and I think that's so helpful for me to have someone like that I can just say it out loud to. And instead of me just continuing to sit on it and ruminate and tell myself, because that day, Kim was actually in Boston. And so I was all by myself all day, nobody to talk to. I mean, I live in New York City. There's plenty of people to talk to, right? But my self-doubt, my feelings of hopelessness didn't get me to leave the apartment. And so I'm just alone all day. And I actually told myself, not out loud, but in my mind, you were such a fucking loser. And I kept coming back to that. And like, on some intellectual level, it's not true. It's not true. Like up here, it's not true. But in here, it feels so real. So, how does it impact my relationships or well-being? It impacts my relationship now because I feel like instances like that where I can open up make our relationship that much stronger and better. Mm-hmm. So she can open up to me when she's in pain and when she's hurting, and vice versa. We don't feel judged by each other. We feel empathy towards each other. I think that's key for us. How does it affect my well-being? Being able to open up. But just the rumination itself, if you take away that safe space to talk about it and just get those feelings out of you, it's bad. It's real bad. So it affects your relationships because you don't want to go out. You feel like a loser. You feel hopeless. You feel resentment. Yeah, maybe to others, but more so about yourself. And you don't want to build relationships. You just want to be left alone. You want all the good things in your life to go away because you feel like that's what you deserve. So it's not great.
Yeah. I can definitely relate to a lot of that. I kind of feel like I'm experiencing some of that lately as well, specifically around, the fact that I have been publicly talking about how I'm packing up my life and planning on moving back to Malaysia. And I share this stuff on social media, and I've been sharing like that I have not been reaching out to people to like make sure that I spend time with them before I leave. I'm just I'll interact with people if they reach out to me, and I'll make an effort then. But I feel like I've had a lot of this self-doubt. It's like nobody seems to care that I'm going to go. Nobody seems to be reaching out about spending time with me. I mean, there are a couple of people, but it's felt like hopefully nobody's of these people who live locally is actually watching this right now, because I feel like this has been a really hard thing for me to think about and even share with my therapist. But it's one of the reasons that I have no qualms about leaving is I don't feel the sense of community here anymore that I used to have. Yeah. And I don't know how much of it is just me not reaching out or just because it has to be a two-way street, right? That other people need to be making effort with you as well. Otherwise, it's like I have a couple of people that I will reach out to and I will reach out to them because I know that they'll respond. And even if we can't get together in that particular moment, I know that doesn't mean that they hate me, right? We'll find another time to get together or whatever. But otherwise, if I haven't had that kind of experience, if I feel like it's been like when I have reached out to someone, it's been kind of like airy-fairy, non-committable kind of stuff, then I'm less likely to continue trying. And so I'm at that place now where I'm just like, you know what? I don't care. The people I want to see are the people who want to see me. And if they want to see me before I leave, then they can put in the effort to reach out to me. That's where I'm at, right? Let me see who actually cares, who is actually going to miss me because they're putting in the effort to make plans with me. Otherwise, like, it's definitely been in, like, there have been situations where I feel like somebody has said like that they wish that I am not going, but then their actions don't match with what they've said, because they don't actually put any effort into making sure that they spend time with me before I go. And yeah, that's been really, really hard for me, and has definitely the impact on my relationships. I put less effort into them when I'm in that kind of mindset, for sure. It's rough. I don't feel like I will have this problem when I go back to Malaysia, when I move back to Malaysia, because the connections that I've had there when I've gone back every time, like I've always had people who have been keen to make plans with me. So even if not everyone that I'm connected to there is interested in spending time with me, I still have a subset of people who I know for sure will make time for me. And so I will not feel the same way about those people, I feel like, that I'm kind of feeling here. And it's really weird because it's not like the San Francisco Bay Area is kind of large in, size area. And that's part of the thing. Like, a lot of the people that I feel maybe more connected with are further away sometimes, and I don't have the energy to travel that far. I don't want to spend that much money to go and see people either, and like, I've sold my car now as well, so it's like I can't, so I have to rely on public transport. And yeah, so it's struggle. It's a huge struggle, and it sucks that this is what my life in the Bay Area has come to. And but that's one of the reasons why I don't feel like I'm gonna miss being here. Like, that a handful of people, sure, that I do actually reach out to and spend time with, but the majority of the people that I got to know while living here, I feel like a dick for saying that, but like, they're not putting in effort either.
Years ago when I was in college, my best friend, who's still my best friend to this day, Dwayne, we went, like, I don't know, you just get busy, right? So he was doing classes, he was working, I was doing classes, I was working, and one day, I don't know, we hadn't spoken in maybe like a month, something like that, because we just got busy. And he texted me one day and said, "You're a bad friend." And I was like, "Excuse me? What are you talking about?" And he says, "I texted you a month ago and you haven't responded, and I've been waiting for a response from you for all this time, and you're a bad friend." And I'm like, "You do know that, like, the telephone goes two ways, right? Like, you could have just reached out again." And he's like, "That's not the point. You're a bad." And so it just became like this whole thing. And I'm like, "You know what? You're a bad friend." So I tried to flip it on him, but his logic was better than mine. So he went. But, yeah, it's people.
Yeah, when you've had those kinds of insecurities that people don't care about you, right? That it's really even harder to reach out and put in that effort, and it's much easier to go into that rumination of self-doubt of like, oh, these people don't care about me. Like, but then on the other hand, like you might have so I have right now a Canadian friend of mine who I met in Canada like 21 years ago. Had been messaging me, let me know that he might be coming to town to San Francisco this month. But like he didn't confirm. Like he's like, I'll find out tomorrow. Like a few days ago, and then he didn't like follow up from that until he was actually here, and he sent me a picture of himself in Union Square. I'm like, what the fuck? You're here? You didn't tell me. Like, but the fact that like this is someone who I met so long ago, and I don't hear from him that often, but when I do, like it's always nice to hear from him, and I really appreciate that he does reach out in those times, because like in those early days of us getting to know each other, I felt like I was the one who was putting in more effort into like getting to know him, because I was just fascinated by him. Like I was like 21 when when I first started hanging out with him. I was very young and like bright-eyed and that sort of thing. This is the guy who inspired my student short film. So I think it's amazing that like he and I are still in touch all these years later. But that's the kind of thing that like I need sometimes to help with my self-esteem in a way that like, oh, I had such an impact on a person that they're actually reaching out to me when they're in my area because they want to get together. But it's like, it's so like that has felt really rare in my life with people.
I get that.
That's a normal feeling to have.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely like seen posts from like lots of people come to San Francisco, right? It's a very popular tourist destination. So I've seen a bunch of other people post on Facebook that they're coming to San Francisco. They probably know that I live here. They never reach out and say, hey, I'm coming to your vicinity. Can we get together? No, it doesn't generally happen. So yeah, when it does happen, I'm like, oh, they care about me. I want to make sure that they see me when they hear.
No, I think that that's a very normal human feeling to have. But it really depends. Like, I don't know about you two, but I think when we're younger, we're in positions where everyone's our friend and we're willing to make the effort because it's second nature to us, right? To be
like in this situation, speak for yourself. Clearly, it was not for me and Mike.
All right, fair enough. But I meant like as a child and as a teenager, even making well for me anyway, making friends was easy, and in my 20s more so. But I think as time goes on, I think self doubt, resentment, and hopelessness comes in with age, for me anyway, because I tend to look back a lot, and unfortunately, as time goes on, life becomes busier. We have more responsibilities that we have to deal with, and having the opportunity to kind of just drop things and hang out isn't there anymore. And it's tricky because when it happens to you, like for example, for me was when I was first back in Malaysia following my illness in America. I couldn't travel very far, and so I would literally message people saying, "Hey, listen, if you're free, I would really appreciate if you could drop by." And out of, let's say, maybe 100 people I asked, a handful showed up. And at first, there was a lot of resentment, but as time passed, I was like, "Look, life just gets in the way." I didn't take it personally, and we all have our own stuff going on. So it becomes less about what other people uh, are going on with their lives, and it's more introspective. Where I go, "Hey, listen, like not everyone is willing to make that effort. Not everyone's your friend, and that's okay. All you can do is control yourself moving forward."
You touched on something that made a lot of sense to me, which is the getting older aspect. And I started ruminating just on the whole concept of like children don't have any inhibitions.
No.
They just have inhibitions. They don't have inhibitions. And
put that in your next t-shirt. There
Go
you go.
on.
Yeah. I'm a child with inhibitions. What? Sorry, we got way sidetracked. And so, like, kids don't get embarrassed when they do things. Young children don't get embarrassed.
No.
And I feel like being embarrassed is a learned trait.
Fuck yeah.
So, like, but even it comes in stages. Like, as a teenager, yes, you can be embarrassed. But being embarrassed as a teenager, it doesn't hold the same weight as being embarrassed as an adult, right? Because you have more life experiences. You have more emotional stake. You have more status to lose. You have more position in life that gets put into question. Your validity of decision making gets challenged, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which those are all things that you don't think about obviously as a child, but nor as a teenager. It hasn't grown to that level of aspects. You don't have far to fall.
Your life experiences as they go on teach you what to be embarrassed about because of how people have treated you in situations in the past, or how you've seen like other people be treated in certain situations as well. Like, I feel like we're more aware of how other people are treated as adults as well, and being like, I don't want to be treated like that. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's tricky as well because as children or teenagers or however what you want to phrase it, we're more willing to make concessions as well, aren't we? Like in the sense that, you have that one friend who you just like, that friend's a bit of a jerk, or there's something about this friend you don't like, but they're my homie, and I'll overlook that. When you're older, you kind of have this, I know what I like and what I don't like, and we're not willing to compromise for any of that. When you're younger, you kind of feel like you want everyone to be your friend, and you're willing to make the sacrifices consciously or otherwise.
Yeah.
So it really does depend, and obviously time is a huge motivator into making that work.
Yeah. Well, if you're growing up to be a people pleaser, then you continue on that path of trying to make sure that you're liked by everyone. I feel like I've talked about this before. I'm at the point in my life now where I try, like, even when I have those moments of embarrassment, I try to own my embarrassment. Like, the biggest embarrassment in my own mind of recent times was what led to the name of this show, the Real Talk with a Vulnerable Angel and Friends. Like, that whole name was because I did something super embarrassing that I still can't believe that I was stupid enough to do, right? But taking ownership of it in a way is like, you know what, I did this thing that was kind of shitty at the time, but look, it was a thing that I did and I've learned from it, and I'm not going to pretend that that wasn't me, because clearly it was. But, you know, if you learn from it, then hopefully that is a net positive.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I
still fart in public.
I only do it if I am sure that it can be silent. Like, not.
Nah, man.
And if I can't help it, like, but I'm like, ooh. Anyway, Timmy is in the audience. He's
Timmy.
giving us a wave. Hi, Timmy.
Timmy.
Thank you for joining us for however long you are able to. Are you guys ready for the next question?
Do it.
Okay, I've got a question for Timmy.
Oh.
Timmy, what do you ruminate about?
Good question. Good question for any of our audience who might be happening to watch right now. It says we have 2 viewers. Maybe my dad is listening and not able to chat at the moment. All right, our next question is how do you tell the difference between healthy reflection and harmful overthinking?
I can answer this straight off the bat. It's how long you spend on it. Because if it's something that you get straight away and you're like, okay, done, that's my realization, that's the straight line to get there, which means it's healthy. But then if you're replaying something over and over and over and over again, how is that going to benefit anyone? Obviously hindsight's great, but to stew on something, that's just not healthy. So the fact is, if you can get something like that and you reach that point, that's only a good thing.
I think it's time and the impact. Like how much impact is it having on your life? Is it impacting your ability to sleep? Is it impacting your ability to work? Is it impacting your ability to go on with your general like daily life tasks, right? If it's interrupting those sorts of things, it's probably in the harmful overthinking. Healthy reflection is maybe more if you are like setting aside dedicated time to think about a topic, and then like once you're done with it, then you're like, okay, it's moving on. I feel like there's this I think I saw something about this recently. There's like this idea that within the first 24 hours after an event happens, that's the time that you can reflect on the situation, like especially if it's like a performance or something like that. Or like, oh, I had a really shitty show. Like 24 hours afterwards, that's the time that you can think about how crappy it was. But then after that time period has ended, then you're like, okay, moving on to the next thing. That I guess that seems like a cool thing to do. I don't think I've ever like followed that rule or been like super conscious of it. I know other people who have tried to follow it. Mike, are you familiar with that particular rule as a performer?
No.
It's all right.
No.
Just curious.
Again, because I feel like I missed something, because based on your explanation, it sounded like you two were saying the same thing in 2 different ways.
Ooh, do tell.
I just did.
Fair. I felt like Sharad was just talking about the time ways, and I added the impact aspect to it. Like how much is the thing impacting your ability to continue on with your regular life?
Maybe I was just focusing more on the time aspect. Yeah, I would say, yeah, you're like, I don't feel like I have too much more to add to this, because I feel like you both hit the nail on the head. I'm thinking about the thing that, oh, hi, buddy. We have a little Brazos today. Ugh. This has been Mr. Poopy Butt.
Oh dear.
And he did not appreciate me taking the clippers to his anus.
Ew.
To be fair, I don't think anybody would be okay with it.
No.
But I'm reminded of like there's the walk of shame, but then there's also the walk of triumph, I guess. And so like healthy reflection, you leave whoever you spent the night with last night, you leave their apartment and you walk home and you have this gigantic grin on your face and you're so excited and you're like, that just happened. That was amazing. Holy cannoli, right? I feel like that's healthy reflection. But when that holy cannoli turns into, what the fuck have I just done? I feel like that's the impact kind of that you're right? Of, was this bad for me? Was this bad for my social standing? Was this bad for my relationship with this person? And of course, me coming from a religious background, I always have this did I just perform this incredibly egregious sin that I will never be able to be forgiven of? Like stuff like that, right? So you just, yeah, time and impact. I feel like you guys hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
What a great question that was, ChatGPT. Thank you so much.
Also, I think I do want to add, there's this kind of outside of this question though.
Okay.
There's this concept that a friend of ours coined. And I think, and she just said it like offhanded, right? She didn't mean it in any particular way, but and she has a very interesting way of phrasing things from time to time. And this one really stuck with us, which was that her brain was trying to murder her, as a way of saying, oh, I just said a really stupid thing, or I just had a really dumb reaction, or I just went down this rabbit hole that I can't get myself out of. Oh yeah, my brain was trying to murder me, right? And so it was a thing she said, moved on, and nobody else gave it a second thought. But we looked at each other and were like, wait a second, that makes all the sense in the world, especially when you do the psychology behind the brain trying to protect itself. Your brain gives you all kinds of signals on, and of course, Kim could explain this much better than I can. But your brain is giving you instincts and reactions to try and perform self-preservation, right? But sometimes that self-preservation malfunctions, and that's where your brain is telling you that there's something wrong with you, that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, and doggone it, people don't like you, right? Which, if anyone's familiar with that SNL sketch, put that in the comments down below. I'll give you a hint. Stuart Smalley. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I do like this idea that, or this concept that sometimes your brain is just trying to murder you, and to try and calm yourself, maybe not calm yourself down, but recognize what's happening in the moment helps so much, because if you can have that presence of mind, it'll break the cycle. And that's your out. And maybe the cycle will start back up again, but you have to have that presence of mind to realize that sometimes your brain is just trying to murder you because it's a malfunction.
Well, and sometimes that is part of its training for its self-preservation, is like, get out of this situation immediately because you are such a fuck up. And if you stay in it, you're going to fuck up even more. Yeah. Tricky. All right. Timmy answered your question. First, Timmy said, and he ruminates about how complex the human body is.
Yes, it is.
Very on brand.
Like that's the thing. Like, I think most people kind of don't really understand how mechanical our bodies are, and they are modern marvels. Just like, I mean, for example, for me, learning about my illness and how it had affected me, the fact was that my white blood cells were attacking each other because I couldn't tell friend from foe. That's why I am the way I am, and it just goes to show that there's so much about our bodies even today we still don't really know much about, and there's so many different specialities. So the fact is, if you break it down, where our bodies are machines, we're the most complex machine on earth, and we're still finding out new things about it every day.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I spend much time at all ruminating on how complex the human body is. The human mind, however, I do spend a lot of time ruminating on, because it's like, well, I like to understand people's motivations behind their behavior. Like, that's one of those things that I will ruminate on, because I'm like, I want to understand why somebody behaved that way so I can forgive them, or understand them, or see if I need to just be done with them because that was the shitty thing to do, and there's like no possible like reasonable explanation for it. But like I really try to understand the motivation or the reasons behind people's behavior, or comments, or anything, especially if it has done harm to me. Like, one of the things that I ruminated a lot on, when I was going through my divorce process, was trying to understand what was behind my ex-husband's behavior in our marriage, for me to forgive myself in a way for not handling things better, and to take away some of the self-blame that I had directed towards myself for the way things worked out. And yeah, so human mind definitely for me.
Yeah, I mean, like it just sounds like it's a very normal thing in the sense that it sounds like the motivation behind you is to find closure
Yeah.
for whatever, and that's a very normal thing for all of us.
Yeah, looking for closure is probably one of the most common reasons for ruminating.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Newsflash, you're human. Who would have guessed?
Oh, what? I'm not a robot. Like, I'm autistic. Isn't that like the epitome of the idea of what people expect from autistic people? Is that we're all robots?
Technically, yes.
They're wrong, we should say. But this because people, unless you're also autistic, tend not to understand how complex that we actually are, and that we're not robots. All right, next
TV show. I'm sorry, tangent. Did you ever watch the TV show Not Dead Yet?
No.
No.
I haven't even heard of it.
Fairly new, brand new. I think it was on Paramount Plus.
See, do not subscribe to Paramount.
The whole concept was there's this woman who moves back to her hometown in California, and she used to write for the paper, and she was like kind of a big wig. And then she left, and she lost all of her status, and then she moves back. Nobody remembers her except for like one person or two people at the newspaper. And so the only job at the newspaper she can get is writing obituaries for the local newspaper. But here's the kicker: the people who have just died appear before her and help her write their own obituaries, and it's a really sweet show. The only reason that I bring it up is because her roommate is autistic, and he's a little bit more mechanical in his autism, but it's one of those rare moments that you do have that representation of like, in Us Weekly, in the magazine Us Weekly, when they say celebrities, they're just like us. People with autism, they're just like us. Like,
yeah,
trying to normalize the conversation a little bit. Anyway, it was just a pure tangent. That was it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like the minute you said that they're just like us, it just reminded me a lot of that music, or that recording that all those celebrities did during COVID, the Imagine song that they didn't release.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Ugh.
Ew.
They're trying to like have recreate lightning in a bottle from the 80s. What's his name? Rashida Jones's dad, Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones wrote that like We Are the World song or whatever.
Yeah.
Not a great song.
No.
Unpopular opinion. Not a great song.
Yeah, fine, whatever. Shall we move on to the next question?
Next question.
Ooh. Oof.
Oofda.
What's the longest you've ever been stuck in a mental loop, and what finally broke it?
The Matrix.
I think for me, the obvious thing is like whenever you're stuck in a mental loop is when you never really accept what's happened, and you linger into what could have been, what should have been, and it's all about acceptance, really. And to be fair, that can happen, or how that happens for all of us is different. Like for
Yeah.
example, like it could be something as trivial as going, oh my god, I can't believe I said that to this person. What was I thinking? And you'll ruminate over that for days, weeks, months. You'll be talking about it with your best friend, laughing about it, but you're still stuck in there. Other days, you'll just be thinking about going about your day, and you'll instantly get a flashback of something you did 20 years ago, and you realize, oh my god, like so it really, really does depend. And I think that acceptance is the only way to go about it, because even if, let's say, it's something that's happened to you a long, long, long time ago, and it's long since been buried into your subconscious. If you don't accept it, it'll always pop back up.
Okay. Yeah, it'll keep coming back.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What about you guys?
Yeah, I don't know how long my longest stretch has been. I'm more along the lines of what you were kind of talking about, Sharad, where like I might have gone a long period of stuck in a loop, and then it'll like I'll go on a break and I'll not think about it for a long time, and then like it'll come back and it'll be stuck in the loop again. I kind of feel like that's where I'm at right now with the thing that made me bring up this topic in the first place, that rumination, because like I feel like, so the thing that's at the back of my mind is just the idea of a particular person, right? And I don't know what it is, because like I feel like I have emotionally moved past like the history between us. I feel like I have I've accepted that that we're no longer in contact, and there's unlikely going to change, and I'm fine with that. Like I'm moving forward with my life, it's no big deal. But then there's still like at the back of my mind, it's like that person is still there. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I got to a point where this was still happening even when like I tried last week. I was like, I'm going to try some of this exposure therapy kind of thing, and I exposed myself to some of his
excuse me, you what now?
Exposed myself, not nudity. I exposed to myself to some of his content online, and it was some content like I knew I was not going to have like any kind of emotional impact on me, or I didn't think it was going to have any kind of emotional impact on me, and I was right. Like I'm like, my reaction to it is like, I feel like hearing his voice again. I wasn't taken back to the how I felt when we were together, right? And so I'm like, I feel like I've moved past this, but then why the fuck is he still like in the back of my brain? Like I don't feel like any desire for him presently, but it's just still like, why the fuck will you just not leave my head? And I don't know what is going to break it. Like I don't know what can break it, because I went like long periods where I was not seeking him out online, and then this exposure therapy thing to be like, am I going to be fine with things if I hear his voice? Yes. But then, yeah, so it's just really frustrating. to go through those periods where it's like, why do you keep cropping back up when I feel like I'm done with it?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, those memories make up who you are as a person. They're part of your history. They're how you'll be moving forward.
It's not even the memory. Like, memories are not coming back. It's just like just the idea of this person. Like, that's it. Like, there's not, I'm not thinking about any particular memories of us being together. It's just like his name, right? Like, that's just that's it. Like, why is it just stuck there?
I don't know, man. It's something that all of us go through every single day. If you find out the answer, let us know.
So let me respond to that by saying we all know my story about the girl named Kylie that I was in love or that I told myself I was in love with for 14 years. We never dated. We never kissed, not once. And I convinced myself that I was in love with her for 14 years. So I mean, like, sometimes you just get something in you that just festers, and hope, maybe, for whatever reason. I don't know. But I think for me, the longest I've ever been stuck in a mental loop, and again, I can't, hey, stop chewing on that. Hey, stop. That's not your purse. You can chew on my toes. He has a toe fetish, by the way.
Of course he does.
I don't know if this is the longest I've ever been stuck in a mental loop, but I do get stuck in mental loops for long stretches of time whenever I'm working on an original creative project. All right. We are going to move this away from you. There. Now you have to walk to the other side of me to chew on it. But yeah, no, whenever I have like project, if I'm doing a cosplay build, I was telling you guys before the show started that I'm building a trick-or-treating walkthrough experience.
Yeah, man.
Potter themed, and that is still not your purse. I don't know where to put this. Oh, I know. I'll move in a second. Anyway, let me finish my thought first. But yeah, whenever I'm working on a project, I can't turn my brain off because I'm so excited about it, and I keep thinking of like, oh, here's this thing that I could do with that, and oh, if it's a lot of it is problem solving, and it's creative problem solving. How do you repurpose things that already exist to fit the mold of what you're trying to accomplish? He's just a curious little fella. Anyway, yeah, but I do go through long stretches of time trying to problem solve and create and stuff like that. So it also gets very enjoyable for me. But yeah,
is that the good side of rumination?
What do you ruminate about, Brazos?
Presses and.
Well, he's also very interested in the Shield right now.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't be able to leave the house without that on. That's awesome. Oh, wow.
When I first got my motorcycle jacket, which I do not have a motorcycle. It's a motorcycle jacket of like Captain America costume, whatever. It's very heavy duty. I would leave with the Shield just because I could.
That's awesome.
And it was, talk about like nerdy, and being self-conscious that like I'm doing what I'm enjoying doing, even though everyone else is judging me for it. Whatever.
Well, I mean, mind you, now, I mean, to be fair, being a geek now is very in chic and very vogue, isn't it?
Okay, so this makes me think of. I'm going to take the comment away, the question away. I got a comment overnight from somebody on like a new person on one of my videos. I was wearing a shirt that said geek in this video, and the comment said, "You're not a geek, you're like my ideal woman." And I'm like, okay, first of all, like, what is wrong with being a geek? And like, clearly you haven't watched enough videos if you think that I'm not a geek. And yeah, but anyway, so it was really interesting because I'm like, I wear that label with pride, and
which makes the comment that much more arrogant.
I don't know.
You're my ideal woman, but you're not a geek.
Like, what?
You clearly, I'm clearly not your ideal woman because
if you don't think I'm a geek, or yeah, I think my response was something along the lines of like, I don't think you can know that with watching just one or even a handful of videos, but I'm curious to know why you think so. I have no idea if I'll ever get a response to it, but like that was like my thinking. Like, but also like, what's wrong with me being a geek?
It's not a demeaning term anymore.
No, it's not. And I think even in the past, like when it was seen as a demeaning term, there were self-identified geeks, and like that was actually a more positive term than nerd was. I think nerd is more like more accepted these days now as well. But I feel like even back in the day, geek was more accepted than nerd was. It was better to be seen as a geek than a nerd.
Yeah. So a number of years ago, I flew to Belgium to film a television show, and it was on Belgian TV. It was the whole thing was filmed in Flemish, whatever. It doesn't matter. The character that I was playing, they said that I was a nerd, and I was like, "Yes, awesome! Can I get a Batman T-shirt? Can I have like?" And I kept like asking for all these things to like complete my character's look, and they're like, "No, you're only playing a nerd." And I'm like, I know, and that's why I need this, and and I say stuff like this and blah, 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 whatever. I wanted to make like all these references and whatever. And they were like, clearly you're not understanding this. You're a nerd, and I didn't understand that their definition of nerd was like a 1980s version of a nerd with like the tape and the pocket protector. And somebody who's very good at math. Yeah. Like that's what they were going for. And I was like,
they talk with that nasally kind of that voice, yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds, I think was their only context.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Which that movie doesn't hold up as much as
No. I rewatched it a couple of years back because I was planning on doing a podcast show with somebody called Does It Hold Up? And that was like the second movie that we were supposed to discuss, but he never got around to watching it.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it really does.
Still a good movie. It doesn't hold up.
It does not hold up. All right, my dad is in the chat now. Thank you for joining us, Dad.
Frank? Thanks for the personal message a few weeks ago, by the way.
Oh, yeah. He sent me a few more messages that he wants me to pass on to you, and I haven't gotten around to doing that yet because I'm like, this it's like too much for me to open right now. All right, my dad says, what do I ruminate on? I am an overthinker. Ruminate on everything. Been out this morning, been listening. All right, so he's been one of the listeners who has been tuning in but not able to chat. And then he also says there are two patterns to notice in our energy: discerning, which is pattern is reflecting, and reflecting pattern 1, true self energy. It is life-giving, thinks of care for all. It is open to better communication. And then the second energy is described in A Course in Miracles. It fits Kim's brain trying to kill you concept. It uses the term ego, not Freudian. I liken it to the bad angel on one's shoulder at one point. I should do a bad angel thing some episode. We're
The
black.
pre-recorded thing of like, there's like the white angel and the red angel, where you're responding to yourself.
I should do promos like that, but I'll have to get like Red Wings. And
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Have yourself, and then like the white angel and the red angel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me in a regular clothes, and then like
yeah,
superimposed. Or anyway, we'll see how much I'm capable actually.
Or just do it like this. Just do it in this format so that you're talking to the camera as yourself, or you're talking to the viewer as yourself, and then like, you know, you have all the different
it's a good idea.
Tiles that pop up.
I should experiment with that. Maybe not while I'm in the midst of packing up all my shit and getting ready to move. Maybe once I have moved and settled in. I need to be buying more things right now. All right, our next question is, how do you stop rumination when it interferes with sleep or daily life?
I think that's the question.
That's the question, isn't it? Oh, boy.
It's so hard.
When I haven't done this technique in a long time, and this is something that I created myself, and I'm sure other people have created their own versions of this. And it takes so much concentration, so much mental concentration, which is why I haven't done it in such a long time. But I did find that it helped when I actually went through the steps. Sometimes you just have that thing on your mind, and you need to, you can't stop ruminating unless you have a moment of clarity to recognize that you're spinning out of control, right? So once you have that moment of clarity, your brain is going to kick right back in and pick up right from where it left off, right? So when you have that break of thought, this is what I used to do, is I would picture in my imagination, like close my eyes, my head is on the pillow, trying to sleep. In my imagination, I would picture a completely black room. There's no light. There's nothing in this space. I'm not even there. It's just a reflection of thought. And I'm trying to just picture on a completely empty void, nothing. But there's one thing in this void. There's a garbage can. And it's just a traditional galvanized steel garbage can with a lid. And every time a thought would pop into my head and enter this black void, I would imagine the garbage can opening itself and that thought going into the garbage can, and then the lid closes again. And then I just try to focus on the blackness of nothing. And then another thought would pop in, and that goes into the garbage can. And just over and over and over until I can only focus, or not only, until I'm completely focused on absolutely nothing. And then my brain kind of turns itself off and I can go to sleep. That is really the only technique that has worked for me.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really cool that works for you. I feel like I've struggled with using visualizations to help me with like anything. Probably the one thing that has helped me the most to stop rumination about things has just been journaling, like writing out the thoughts of what has been bothering me, so that it's out of my body. I can always come back to it later, because I've written it out, but it doesn't have to be sitting in my mind anymore. So I think that's been the best thing for me. Even more so than like sharing it with a person, because I found that even when I share some of my ruminating thoughts with a person, then I'll find other people that I want to share it with as well, and like I'll just keep ruminating on it still. But journaling it, writing it out, has had a different impact of like, okay, I can let it go.
Yeah, I think it really depends on each person. I mean, we all go through things differently. Sometimes I find the hardest thing to do is to getting your brain to shut off, just to shut off.
Yeah.
And I found the easiest way to do that is to kind of revert back into your childlike state. And I do that by just appealing to the animal part of my brain. So, for example, what do I love? I love watching television. I love watching cartoons. I love watching uh, YouTube videos about really derpy dogs. I love stuff like that. So I find that if I surround myself with things like that, your mind sort of tricks itself and it goes back to that primal version of itself where everything was pure, everything was happiness, and that helps you relax. How that helps you sleep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work all the time. I wish it did, but
Mhm.
more often than not, it's something that I find that is the easiest way to reset you, albeit temporarily. So that's probably the best way I would recommend it.
Here's another thought. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I use distractions sometimes, but it's more like it puts a pause on the ruminating.
Yeah.
So it's just like while I'm focused on a movie or a TV show or a video game or whatever, while I'm focused on this other thing, that allows me to get out of my head and focus on this other thing. But then like once it's done, like I'm back at the ruminating.
What you said earlier, Dominica, made me think. A few months ago, and I've already shared the story. Kim and I were we were visiting her mom in Ohio, and I can't remember. We were somewhere doing something, and there was something that happened, and she had a reaction to this thing that happened that triggered something inside of me. And to her, it was just a reaction. It was a fleeting moment, right?
Yeah.
But there was something about that moment that I couldn't let go of, and it festered inside of me, and I just got so worked up throughout the entire day that night I couldn't go to sleep. Like I couldn't fall asleep because I was just ruminating over this thing. And it wasn't anything she said, but it was this vibe that I picked up on that just made me so angry. And I just, like I said, I couldn't let it go. So, not knowing what else to do, I went to Chat GPT because I needed someone to talk about it with, and everyone else. Like, it was the kind of thing that I didn't feel comfortable even calling my best friend, who probably would have been awake at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I could have talked to him about it. But like, I didn't even feel comfortable talking to him about it. So I needed like an anonymous voice to speak to. And so I just went to ChatGPT and I was like, hey, can I tell you something? And the immediate validity and understanding and empathy that ChatGPT showed me, that's where I was like, oh man, what an incredible tool this is to let me feel validated in my feelings without putting more negative feelings towards the situation, and without putting negative feelings on Kim. Yeah. And it made me feel so much better to talk it out with someone, right? Yeah, so just being able to talk it out and get it out of my system helped tremendously.
Speaking of or along similar lines, I feel like I've used ChatGPT similarly, but also I've been like, with the ruminating aspect, I talked about like I've run through certain scenarios like wishful thinking, like having somebody come back and like beg me for forgiveness or whatever. I've had ChatGPT run through like example scenarios like that so that I don't have to even imagine it myself. It's like, can you come up with the idea of how this would look in this kind of situation? And I feel like that has actually helped me in times as well. It's just like, yeah, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. It helps to like put the mirror up a little bit, right? Because again, ChatGPT is an impartial party. They're not taking sides. So I mean, they, in a sense, they are kind of taking sides. That they're trying to help you feel better because they're emulating. It's programmed to emulate human emotion, and human emotion by default is trying to help you feel better about a thing, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's still an impartial thing. So if you are in the wrong, or if it detects from the prompts that you gave it, from the information that you've plugged in, if it detects that there's room for improvement, it will tell you.
Yeah.
Which we need a lot more of, I think, nowadays.
I don't know if
sometimes you can just ask it to say, hey, write me a letter from the person who has done me wrong, just so I can feel like they've actually sent it to me so I can move it on.
Fair enough, you do you.
All right, I think
through scapegoating.
Yeah, that's like right. Are we finished with this question now? My dad's left some more comments in the chat here. So
Frank.
This is a continuation from his previous. He said at one point it boosts you up and then suddenly drops you into old blaming negative self-talk. That is part of one's habit pattern.
Yes.
It is defensive and self-protective. Its pattern is to keep the status quo growing.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're adverse to change, aren't we? So the fact is,
yeah. So even if our life is shit, that is our status quo, and that is what our body is used to. And so if it starts to become more positive, then our body's defense mechanisms will kick in and protect us against the better life and cause us to sabotage.
In other words, your brain is trying to murder you.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
there
right.
You go.
All right. My dad also said company got to go, so he's no longer watching right now. But I am sure he will come back and watch the rest later. So
wait, your dad is in the cast of Company?
I went to see that musical, and that's like the only one that I have not really liked that much.
I don't know. I like the music from it. I don't like the staging, and I don't love the story.
Yeah.
Well, I like the staging, but it's hard. I appreciate the staging. There it is.
There you go.
It's hard to sit through.
I liked the idea of it.
Yeah.
But I didn't appreciate it.
Okay. That's okay.
Anyway, I got a discount on seeing it, so it was fine. Anyway, we have one question left, just one. So it will probably be a shorter stream than usual unless we have more things that we want to continue on with. So our last question is...
Last question.
Have you ever regretted not ruminating enough before making a decision?
Yes.
Bye. I thought this was going to be a really hard question for me to answer. And then, like, while I was looking at the question when we were on the last question or the previous question, I realized that my answer is probably the decision to marry my ex-husband. I probably should have ruminated on that a lot more than I did.
Yeah, I think you've trumped us on that one, I think.
But then I have to say also, like, the thing is, like, with regretting it means that I wish that I'd never married him. And that's not entirely the case either, because it's not like there were no positive things that came from it. Like, I have two amazing kids that I wouldn't have if I hadn't gone through the wedding. This amazing mug that I have from Singapore is a result of us going to Singapore on our honeymoon and me being amused by all of the things that you could get fined for in Singapore. That's what this mug is. It tells you all the things that you can get fined for and how much the fines are. Now this is such an old mug.
That's amazing.
But like amazing. It's really faded now. You can't even read half the things very well. This one's no urinating in the lift, but that's really hard to read these days. Anyway,
it's called the urination on it.
Right, like it's a $500 fine if you do. No spitting. That's a fun thing, and it's just like Singapore, a real fine place. Like that's the caption. It's like, and
marketing
like I think,
ladies and gentlemen.
So I'm pretty sure I saw something about this on our honeymoon trip to Singapore, and I thought it was hilarious, but we never like bought anything that said anything along those lines. So that mug was bought when we were transferring through Changi Airport on our way back from Japan, and we thought we had enough time to buy souvenirs while we were in the airport, despite the fact that we were changing terminals.
Well, I mean,
spoiler alert, we did not have enough. We ended up missing the flight as a result of buying that mug. But but like I still appreciated that he put the effort into doing that, even if I was super upset about the fact that we missed our flight. It was like nearly Christmas Eve. I think we barely made it home in time for Christmas as a result of missing that flight.
But you know, the whole thing was worth it just to get that one mug.
Yeah. And I still have it, and it might be chipped in the corner, but it's hilarious.
So worth it for that
mug. Wouldn't have the story.
I think your kids are fine and all, but that mug makes it all worth it.
It's been such a really, the memory of that has been like really special. So even if I clearly do not have any warm feelings towards my ex-husband anymore, like this mug was so special to me at the time that like I got so antsy when I saw somebody else using the mug when they were visiting one time, and I was like, Jerry, this is like my most special mug that I don't want anyone to use. Now I don't care as much because it's like, you know, like I said, like it's really faded. I probably need a new one. Next time I'm back in Singapore, hopefully that's still something that's available to get.
Keep an eye out.
But yeah. Do you have a more elaborate answer to this question, Mike, or Shara? Do you have an answer? Even if I topped anything that you guys could say.
For me, the obvious one is what my objectives are. The obvious one is, let's say, when you're under the influence, like, you know, you don't typically make the best decisions. There's a really famous quote. What was it from How I Met Your Mother? Like, nothing good happens after 12 a.m. Like after midnight, we make no good decisions. And I think that's something I think we've all kind of encountered at one point or another. The fact is, both of you are kind of like smiling but not saying anything. I think it's triggering a memory. So there you go. But those ones usually are not too bad. But they're just.
What comes to mind when you say nothing good happens after 12 a.m. is like, I don't even have to be drunk for me to act drunk after 12 a.m.
I mean, it can be something like for example, I'm working on something late, or I'm having a Netflix marathon, And then next thing I know, it's 12:30, and I'm like, ooh, I could do with a big fat juicy burger right now, and I'll pop down the street, and I'm looking at, and I'm back at home, I'm eating it, and then as I'm brushing my teeth, I'm just looking at my reflection, just going, "You fat bastard, look at you," and I'm just like, brushing it, so nothing good ever happens.
I have a follow-up question. Is it a Ramley burger that you're getting?
She's got it. Yeah, she
Mm.
knows. She knows.
Because those are the only burgers that are available after 12.
Yeah. Yeah. They're so good, but they ruin your life as well.
Well, for anyone who watches Parks and Rec, I'm pretty sure that would be a paunch burger.
Man, I don't have really very many memories with Ramley burgers, but my main memory is such a stupid one. It's from last year, about a year ago, a little over a year ago. Last time I was in Malaysia, and I was at a show that my ex was performing at, and I had avoided talking to him. Then he made a comment to me, and then like he was hungry, so he wanted to get some a Ramley burger from the back that had been sitting there for ages. And I'm like, it's gonna be cold. You're gonna regret that. And then he went and he grabbed it and he started eating it anyway. And then he commented on how cold it was. Like, I told you. Like, that's my only memory of Ramley burger. Like a specific memory.
It's amazing though. Like honestly, if you get a chance, if you ever do come by like our neck of the woods, Mike, try the ramen burger. It's chef's kiss.
How long is the flight from San Fran to Kuala Lumpur?
Okay, so you do have to transfer somewhere.
Once or twice.
So yeah, once or twice. My trips that I've taken in the last few years have been one or two transfers. Generally one to get there, and then sometimes I spend two to get back. But it's like 22 plus hours.
I was going to say more on
transfers,
including the transfers.
Including transfers, yeah. So it depends. How badly do you want that Ramley burger, my friend?
You know what?
He'll come visit after I move, right? Then we can do like a show from Malaysia, all of us together.
All of us eating Ramley burgers. That's pretty sweet. That'd be dope, actually.
Because the where do you transfer? Tokyo?
So I've done Tokyo. I've done
Singapore. One.
Yeah, I've done Singapore. I've also done Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
You can also transfer in Seoul.
Seoul's another
probably
one,
also transfer in Manila. It just depends on what airline that you're flying with.
Because, okay, it's 22 hours, sure, including like the layover time.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it just be better to fly to, let's just say, Singapore, and then spend a day in Singapore, get yourself a hotel, rest up, go back to the hotel, go back to the airport the next day, and then
and then fly to Malaysia after that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the point where you're at Singapore, you may as well continue on because it's only an hour flight from Singapore to KL. Like. That's a ridiculously long flight. It's like 16 hours from San Francisco to Singapore. It's a really long flight. If you want to have like some downtime in between, you may as well. You'd be better off going to like Tokyo or Hong Kong, where you're at. You know,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's only an hour flight from point B to point C. Then yeah, like what? Well, I guess why would it be 22 hours? 16 hours.
No, but
depends on your layout over time.
The layover time usually can be quite long.
And especially like you want to have at least 3 hours probably in Singapore in case you have to transfer terminals because it's a fucking enormous airport.
It's a nightmare. It's a night.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you say, by that point, you might as well just continue on. But it's not a matter of 1 hour. It's a matter of 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah, but like, okay, so Changi Airport has places that you can go to rest within the airport as well. So you don't even have to leave the airport.
Yeah. If you're lucky enough, they'll give you the free accommodation pass where you can go into like not really a hotel, but like you'll go into like a little area. You have your own little
sleep
cubicle.
pods?
Not quite a sleep pod. There's like they have their rooms, but they're not very big ones. They'll almost be like quarters, if that makes sense. There's community bathrooms, eating areas, but you'll have your own little cordoned off area, which is pretty nice.
Is it like with a locking door?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. The one last time I was in, I just had a wee curtain and that was it. So, but that was fine.
I've never been to any of them, so I don't actually know what they're like. I just know that they exist. I think there's a lot of entertainment things that you can do in Changi Airport. Like there's a movie theater. Yeah. They have a butterfly garden. A lot of indoor garden areas. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Oh. Yeah. And they're free to go to. So if you want to go to the movie theater or the garden, just walk about, just go in, pop out. That's it. You don't have to pay anything.
The movie theater is free?
Yeah.
I've never actually been. I didn't know that. That's cool.
I remember this. I saw Alvin and the Chipmunks, and I just remember just going, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen." But at the same time, I was like, "Well, it's free." So.
Yeah.
I am offended because I'm a massive Alvin and the Chipmunks fan. No, it's fine. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah. There's also, like, if you have a long enough layover in Changi Airport, you can get a free city tour.
Really?
From the airport, wow. Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. I think it's free.
I'll take your word for it. Okay.
So if you get there in the morning, you can do the city tour, and they'll bring you back for an evening flight.
Wow. And I'll tell you why. Because of if you just got off of a 16-hour flight,
yeah,
and now
last thing you want.
Let me show you my city.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you what the options are. I've never done that either. I've never done any of these things. I did get free airport money to spend on food while I was there once because of a delay on a flight. I think.
Nice. Okay. That's cool. Pretty good.
But like, I think I went to the butterfly garden one time. Otherwise, I've mostly just gone to like the different garden areas and shops and restaurants.
Yeah, Changi Airport's nice.
Yeah, Mike, when you were talking about stopping in Singapore, I thought you were going to say and not go to Kuala Lumpur, just stay in Singapore the entire time, and I was just going to say like how offensive that is to Malaysians.
Look at my face. Look at my face.
Is that a thing that people do?
Well, I mean, put it this way. I think we've talked about this. Singapore and Malaysia, it's like the heightened version between Canada and the US. I think that's probably the best way to do it. And like Singaporeans are notoriously very snooty, shall we say? And you'd be surprised how like little minuscule arguments can escalate to massive fights. Like for example, if you really want to get a Singaporean and a Malaysian to get into it with each other, talk about who does the food better.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's absolutely the food. Anytime. Yeah. So if you say, the food in Singapore is amazing, Malaysians will be so offended. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Compared to Malaysian food, you are like, if they have the same dish with the same name, like the Malaysian food is, the Malaysian version is better.
And then we'll start talking about the history behind the dish and go, no, it's about this culturally, it's about that. And no word of a lie, if you get, like, just imagine the sweetest lady in her 60s you've ever seen, the sweet, demure little lady who hobbles like this. She's about 4 foot tall, really sweet. You get her, another woman, same size, same age, talking about Malaysia, Singapore, and delicacies. It's going to be WrestleMania. It really is. Like, they will literally start scrapping. And it's it's normal. Unfortunately.
Sounds like as long as I have my GoPro, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
That's one for the social media.
Yeah.
Who wants to see an old lady fight? Go!
It's literally just taking a hand grenade, taking the pin and just letting it drop and just going, job is done. So,
It's more epic than like Australia and New Zealand's fight over who invented pavlova, because we have that one dish that I didn't even know that Kiwis thought was theirs until like well after I was pretty sure that it was Australian. So
really,
and that's just
it
that's
was
one
Eastern European.
Pavlova?
Yeah, I thought it was Eastern. Oh, well, there you go.
I think it was named after an Eastern European, maybe when she visited.
I thought it was named after a scientist who trained dogs to salivate.
No, that's a common misconception.
Oh, that's funny.
No, I don't know the exact history, but it's something, I don't know, some performer from Europe, I think, visiting Australia and New Zealand was named after her. But yeah, that's the one dish. The one dish that there's a fight over who actually invented it, or which country actually invented it. Whereas Malaysia and Singapore, way more.
Yeah, it's literally a blood feud. So yeah.
But considering I'm looking at moving to Malaysia for the food and not Singapore, that tells you which country I think is the winner.
Yeah, no argument for me. I mean, as you can tell from the size of myself, I think.
I have no skin in this game. I'm just enjoying the commentary.
You know, did you notice immediately how passionate both Dominique and I just got talking about that? So, like,
you know, that does remind me. The last time I was in Singapore, their food was dynamite.
Wait till you try Malaysian food.
I've never been to Singapore.
There you go.
You're just trying to wind us up.
Stirring.
I would never do anything like that. Side note, Singaporeans, my goodness.
Oh yeah.
You mean Singaporeans?
Singaporeans, yeah. Every time you see one, you're like, "Oh, cornians." Oh yeah.
I said Singaporean.
Yeah, that's why I corrected you to Singaporeans.
Cornians.
Singaporeans, yes.
Because we're supposed to change it to corn. Yeah.
Porn! Never mind.
Hey, nah.
Demonetize this.
These nuts. Yeah, I know we're going off on tangents now, but we have no more questions left to discuss, so it's fine.
No more questions.
No more questions.
We're ruminating on why Malaysians and Singaporeans ruminate constantly about their food and which cuisine is better.
Yeah.
Still on topic. What are you doing?
There you go.
There's entertainment. Yeah, I mean, Singapore was the country that I visited first before Malaysia. But oh my God, I can't even.
Oh, don't do that, man.
I can't. That is like one of the things that I can't stomach, even like in movies and things. I'm like, anything that's in the face, like eyeballs, tongue. Yeah, but so Singapore was one of the countries I went to on my honeymoon. But thank God your glasses are there. But we took a bus over to Johor for an eivning and back, just so that we can say that we went to Malaysia.
I'm sure they prefer to be called sex workers.
No,
Hey.
Johor Bahru.
Johor Bahru, there you go.
Or JB. No, I understand what you're saying. You're making fun of the language. What does Johor mean, Sharon, in Malay? I know Bahru means new.
Let me look and let you know.
You're the one who speaks Malay.
I don't know. I mean, like, I've got no idea why it's called Johor to start off with. So continue. I will look.
You're looking it up for us. Yes. Yeah, because we just wanted to say that we went to another country on the honeymoon, so just for an afternoon to Johor.
Oh,
and
Johor Bahru literally translates New Johor. That's all it is.
It's like, just New Johor. Johor itself does not mean anything, but at least I knew what Bahru meant.
Yeah, the older one was just called Johor Lama, so that's just Johor. So that's just the name. So
What's the official language of Malaysia?
Malay.
How can you speak Malay?
Yeah. Yep.
Nama saya Dominica.
My name is Dominica.
I figured that much out.
Yeah.
Can Dominica, do you speak Malay?
A little bit. I know some things.
Just so I can get a sound for it, can you guys have like a small conversation?
Oh, I can't do a conversation. I can say words and sentences. So I say, Brahenti.
Stop.
Saya makan nasi putih dan ayam goreng.
She ate white rice with fried chicken. There you go.
Sherrod, can you give me like 4 or 5 sentences on just rumination in general?
Okay. Nama saya Sharon. Saya merindu apabila saya pergi ke England dan United States. Apabila saya pergi ke sana, saya merindu cakap sama orang di sana dan makanan di sana saya tak suka, tetapi orang itu yang memang istimewa. So I miss traveling to England and the United States. I do miss the food there. I do miss the people there. I don't miss the food because it was very, very bland. But yeah, there you go.
That was a great dissertation on rumination. Thank you.
There you go.
I'm more. I can tell you specific words. His name. Saya keluarga. Satu adik. Satu. I don't know, daughter.
The guy, the geik, to the goose, to the geek, again, to the gish, ribbigith.
Daughter, I believe, is anak perempuan. I think. So,
okay.
There you go. Yeah. So she was saying in her family she has a son and a daughter.
Yeah. Adik is son, right?
Adik or a younger sibling. Like for example, if you're older, you're talking to someone whoever it is, you refer to them as adik. So
some of my words that I know is because I learned Indonesian in school, and they did not always translate.
Not always.
And so sometimes like I will like say something in Indonesian and they'll be like, what the fuck? Like my best story of this is when I went to the wet market in Tamanton, Dr. Israel, like near where I lived in the early days of living there. And I wanted to buy some eggs. And so I had a specific amount that I wanted to order. And I went to order delapan. And they didn't understand delapan because it's the only number that is not the same. It is lapan. They dropped the de and like, what the fuck? You still couldn't understand with it's like 1 syllable difference.
Well, there you go.
But they still didn't understand.
That's the reaction that I have with predictive text.
Yeah.
It can like reconstitute when I like get 5 or 6 letters wrong, and it's like, oh, you meant to spell this word, but when I type TGE, it doesn't autocorrect to THE. The.
Yeah.
How do you not recognize the?
Yeah.
As TGE? Come on.
So. I hope our audience enjoyed, or whoever's listening after the fact, probably just my dad, enjoyed our Malay lesson.
Yeah.
What you
Every day's a school day.
I enjoy like just listing off words sometimes. Like I had a hangout with one of my friends here a few months back, and I was just listing off and explaining, what words meant. I was like, kuching, that means cat. Anjing, that means dog. Anjing is haram.
Legal.
Yeah. And yeah. Saya tidak bukan ikan bilis. Which word would I use?
You're not.
I don't like. If I don't like it.
Saya tak suka.
Oh, tak suka. I don't know that one. I learned something new.
Suka is like, tak suka, don't like.
Mm.
Whenever you need to pick this up, Mike, ask away.
I was just about to do this.
There you go.
Fortunately, visiting Malaysia, you do not have to know any Malay.
No.
As long as you're visiting most
yeah.
places that, Penang,
Langkawi.
The big, more metropolitan areas or big tourist areas, you don't have to know any Malay at all.
Well, I'm sure as long as people have the complexion that I do,
they'll understand and not expect you to speak Malay.
This jamook.
But then when you do speak Malay, they're incredibly impressed. Which is why the line that I said about eating white rice and fried chicken was one of my opening lines in my stand-up when I started in doing stand-up in Malaysia, and the crowd was like, "Whoa, you can speak our language, and you're
I love watching
booty."
I love watching those videos where like super white guys will walk into like a Korean nail salon or like a Chinese nail salon or something like that. And like the two Chinese women will like start
gossiping.
And the guy's like filming the whole thing and just talking about like, this idiot, why does a man get a manicure? Like just like all this stuff. Like start bad mouthing him like right in front of him, and then he chimes in like knowing have a full command of Chinese or whatever
language.
And they're just so like just so mortified. I love it.
It's chef's kiss.
Yeah. Serves your right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's. Do we have any other things that we want to say about rumination before we sign off, or we're just gonna?
It's dumb.
Yeah, it sucks. Why do we keep ruminating on bullshit things that don't even mean anything anymore?
Yep. We're our own worst enemy.
Just explode my head now. Mind blown. And that's how you get rid of those ruminating thoughts. Just blow your head off.
Yeah, don't do
that.
That
should have been my answer to that question. Like, how do you stop rumination when it interferes with your sleep and daily life? Blow your head off. No, that's obviously that's a joke. I don't want to get myself banned.
Ever since Sherrod said the words, I'm my own worst enemy, and I said, hey, that's a great song. I'm trying to think of the opening line to that song, and like I can't think of what it is. All I can hear is my own worst enemy, because every now and then I kick the living shit out of me, and I can't remember.
Is that Blink 182?
No, it's Lit.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you were singing, like.
Welcome to my mind.
All right. Well, I guess we'll end there. Hope you enjoyed our discussion on the good, the bad, and the ugly of rumination. I think we had some very interesting ideas and experiences with that.
I've been Mike Brown.
And he's gone.
Is no one else going to follow suit?
No, sorry. yeah, thank you for tuning in. If you have been watching After the Facts, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We do this thing pretty much every week. I don't know how long it's going to continue on for. It depends on when I sell my house and move. We'll probably have to take a break then at some point.
I'm probably not going to be around much after December or after Thanksgiving, really.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing we have to consider as well. That's fair. But for now, we're weekly until something else happens. I just had a couple of viewers tune in. I'm sorry, we're ending right now. But come back next week, 2 hours earlier than what it is now, and then you can see us chatting about. I don't know what next week's topic is going to be yet. We'll find out. And
life changes, because I'm going to go through one and you're going to go through one. And let's be honest, Sherrod isn't going to be far behind.
We had that topic during last month when you were away, but maybe we can bring it back and have
let's do another
part 2.
Let's talk about ear hair and why.
Ear hair?
Why? Oh, let's explore Lego Timmy's rumination about how complex the human body is.
Yeah, I think we all can get behind that, actually.
We'll see. Well, let's we'll continue the chat off stream, well, whatever, or I'll come up with something.
Nice. That means no.
I need to ruminate on it for a while to see how I feel about the idea. Ooh, there, bringing it back. Yeah, we'll probably be the same time next week. I don't think I've got any other plans this time next week, but look out on the channel to find out when it's going to be. Hit the notification bell to subscribe, so then you'll be notified when we go live in case the time changes. My dad was the one or one of the people that's come back. Sorry, Dad, we are ending. You can rewind to the part that you left at. Okay. Until next time, ruminate on your positive ideas more than your